All right, so in this video, we're going to go over questions 5 through 10, same steps that we were using before. These questions are a little simpler because we don't have all the steps to complete, but we're still going to go through them and pretend that we do. All right, same thing as before. Draw your line down your equal sign. Your first step is to distribute. You distribute when you have parentheses, so we're going to take this number outside of the parentheses and multiply it times everything inside of the parentheses. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Negative 1 times negative 3. So that's a negative times a negative, which is a positive 3x. Since we didn't distribute to anything else, all of this is just going to come down. After distribute, step 2 is combine. We are going to combine the ones that are alike. Negative 3 is just a number all by itself. We can combine that with the negative 8. You should have a calculator. I'm just going to call that A. I want you to figure out what negative 3 minus 8 is. I'm just going to say A because I don't want to give you the answers. I want you to be working these out. Also, what else can we combine? I have a plus 3x and a plus 9x. Those both have an x. They can be combined. So I also want you to figure out what is 3 plus 9. I'm going to call that B. So now, when we did negative 3 minus 8, you got a number. I call that A. That's your number. When you did 3x plus 9x, you also got a number. I know that looks real confusing. You're probably like, Miss James, what is all this that you're talking about? Well, that's only because I don't want to write the actual answer for you. I'm about to write the wrong numbers, but if you have a calculator and you're working this out, you will get this question right. Negative 3 minus 8. Negative 3 minus 8 is a negative, and I'm writing it wrong, I know. Let's say it's a negative 10. 3 plus 9, hopefully you know what this is, but I'm going to say that it's 11. This question is asking for your slope and your y-intercept. And some of you are probably real confused. Miss James, I didn't get 11 and negative 10. I know. I've just said that negative 10 is not correct. But I want you to figure out what negative 3 minus 8 is and write that number here. Write the correct number there. I want you to figure out what 3 plus 9 is and write that correct number down. That's going to help you actually get the number correctly, the problem correct. But I don't want to just be writing answers for people to look at. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And if you're listening to me, you'll get it correct. All right, numbers 6 and 7. Notice that we don't have to go through all 5 of the steps on these. We only had to go through 2, distribute, combine. All right, so number 6, our first step is to distribute. We distribute when we have parentheses. And since we don't have parentheses, we don't have to distribute. Our next step means combine. Is there anything I can combine with the 7x? Remember, keep the symbol with the numbers. That is a negative 10. So we got to figure out what is 7 minus 10. What is 7 minus 10? Write that number right there. Next, I see that I have a negative 2 and a positive 7. Those are both just numbers by themselves. We can combine those. I want you to figure out what is negative 2 plus 7. You are going to write your answer to look like y equals mx plus b. Once again, I'm about to write the incorrect answer. I'm only writing this to see who's paying attention. If you figured out what 7 minus 10 is and what negative 2 plus 7 is, you can figure out what m and b is. M is the number in front of your x. B is the number all by itself. So 7 minus 10, let's pretend and say we got 4. I'm just pretending. If you don't know what 7 minus 10 is, type it in the calculator. Next, we got negative 2 plus 7. If you don't know, type it in the calculator, but I'm going to say that that is 9. Those are incorrect, once again. But if you've done the problem with me, you should get the answer. Number 7, y equals negative 4 minus 3x plus 2x minus 10. Same steps that we followed before. Our first step is distribute. Multiply the number outside of the parentheses times everything inside of the parentheses. So we get y equals negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Negative 1 times negative 3. Negative times a negative is a positive, 3x. Everything else is just going to come down because we're not distributing. Since we've done step 1, step 2 is combine. First term that I see is a negative 4. I'm going to look and see, is there any other number that's all by itself without a variable? Negative 10. When I combine those, negative 4 minus 10 is what? If you don't know, type it in the calculator. Next, I have 3x plus 2x. Hopefully you know what 3 plus 2 is. All right, last but not least, you're going to write your answer. Y equals mx, so whatever number you got for m. And last but not least, it's plus b, so whatever number you got for b. Number 8 looks pretty simple. Same steps that we followed on our other problems. Step 1 is distribute. We're going to multiply the number outside the parentheses to everything inside. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Negative 1 times negative 3, I feel like we've multiplied this number at least 3 times. That's a positive 3x. The only thing you have to do on this problem is make sure you write your x term in the front. So on this problem, you would write the 3x first and the minus 4 in the back. Hopefully now you can be able to figure out what m is and what b is. Number 9. Number 9, you have 3x plus y equals 5x minus 1. Step 1 is distribute. We're going to multiply the number outside of the parentheses times everything inside. All of this comes down because we did not distribute. 5 times 1x is 5x. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Can we combine anything on the left-hand side? No. Can we combine anything on the right-hand side? No. Next, our y is already on the left, so we don't have to move it. But that means everything else needs to go to the other side. When I move a positive 3x to the other side, because that's a positive 3, it's going to become a negative 3x. So all we have left on this side is our y. 5 minus 3 is 2, and the minus 5 comes down. Now, hopefully by now, we can figure out that m is the number in front of x and b is the number by itself. We've done this plenty of times now. Once again, I'm going to write down the incorrect answer just to see who's paying attention. M is the number in front of X. So make sure you type the correct M value. B is the number by itself. Make sure you type the correct B value. Number 10 says Y equals 4x plus 2 minus 3x plus 2. Step 1, we're going to distribute. Multiply the number outside to everything inside. That's going to give us 4 times 1x is 4x. And 4 times 2 is 8. Everything else comes down. Next, step 2 is combine. Is there anything that I can combine with the 4x? Minus 3x. Hopefully we know this in our head, but if we write those together, you end up with 4 minus 3, and write that number in. Hopefully you know what that number is. And then we also are going to combine. We have a positive 8 and a positive 2. Once again, hopefully we know what that number is. You're going to write your final answer as y equals mx plus b. Make sure you put the x term first. That's the x term. Write that one first. That way you can be able to tell what m is and what b is. I'm going to write down these incorrect answers. 4 minus 3, I'm going to pretend like that's 7. 8 plus 2, I'm going to pretend like that's 6. Make sure you type in the correct answers. For the last 5 questions, I'm going to go ahead and record a different video. So for 11 through 15, click on the next video.